Let's get started with Greg Pickle.
Drew, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for your time. Drew, after the game, you had mentioned that this Illinois film would be good film to watch for a variety of different reasons. Now that you were able to do so, what have you learned after going back through Saturday's game?
Yeah, overall, I mean, not like I said after the game, it wasn't as clean as we wanted, for sure. But I mean, we were very close on a lot of different things. Very close to making a lot of big plays happen. Just a lot of small things at this point that kind of caught up to us this past week. And obviously, Illinois is a tremendous defense. They got a great scheme. They did a lot of great things on all levels of their defense. So it's a really credit to them. But we just got to focus on cleaning up the little things, and I think that would have helped us this past week.
Ben Jones.
Hey Drew, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
I'm good. I have to check because these days it's always possible, but you haven't signed an NIL deal with Drake, have you?
No, I wish. I wish.
All right,
I
that's
wish.
good. That would be the news of the day. But I'm curious. You've got good touch and you've got good power. Which one of those things did you have first, and how did you grow into the other one?
I probably had the power first. I think touch was something I had to really develop and work on. And it really took a lot of game reps and a lot of just timing with the receivers in the off season. Just because, as a quarterback, if you have a strong arm, sometimes you always want to rifle it in there. And sometimes that's just not the throw. You have to layer the ball over a linebacker or a safety, and you need to give the receiver a chance to be able to make an adjustment on the ball, and make a play on the ball. You can't just throw 100-mile-per-hour rockets and expect them to like have press coverage and be able to react to that. So I definitely had the power first and then developed the touch second. And yeah, so I think that's how it goes for most quarterbacks, I would say. Touch is something that you develop with your receivers and when you get more game experience and game reps.
Tyler Donahue.
Good morning, Drew. Hope you're doing great today. Wanted to talk about Theo Johnson's comment that he just gave to us during his phone call. He said that you're coming across as more assertive in your demeanor, the way you're interacting with teammates during the game. Is that something that you've noticed yourself as you've accrued more game reps? And how much easier is it to lead now that you have a few starts under your belt versus maybe in the spring or in the summer before you had started your game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't say I've noticed it, but I think it does come a lot easier for me now, just because of all the experience I've had over the last 3 weeks, starting and stuff like that. And I think it's just relaying the message from the coaches. I mean, I obviously we didn't start fast on this past Saturday, and I just wanted to reinforce to the offense, like, don't get down, don't get down. I mean, we were very close on a lot of those drives, especially after the defense forced a bunch of turnovers. We, drove down to the goal line, didn't finish, but we can't get down about it. We could be frustrated about it for sure, but we gotta be able to go out the next drive and bounce back from that. So I think it's coming just a little bit more easier and naturally for me, just because I'm in the games playing now, and I know how all the guys out in the field feel, and just trying to give them positive reminders that, like, we're very close on things. We just got to keep pushing through it.
Rich Scarcella.
Morning, Drew. Thanks for doing this. Drew, how important are explosive plays to an offense? And how does an offense remain patient when they're not coming consistently?
Yeah, I mean, explosive plays are something we always talk about. We always talk about protecting the ball, and we've done a good job of that so far this week. We got to keep, or so far this year, we got to keep building on that. And then the second thing we always talk about is the explosive play battle. And obviously, it can be very frustrating when we're not getting those explosive plays that we want. But again, just like I said in the beginning, we were very close a lot of times. It's just, maybe a better ball placement by me, just better timing in general, and we can make those shorter plays that might have gone for 6 yards. If I put a ball in front, we get a broken tackle and the receivers can do their thing out in open space, or even the running backs do their thing out in open space, and that would create a lot of explosives. So I think overall it can be frustrating, but we're very close. Obviously we weren't where we wanted to be this past weekend, but I think it's easy to correct, and we can really get that fixed this week if we just, focus on it throughout the practices this week.
Shane Thomas.
Hey Drew, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. I wanted to go back to the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. The defense had a sequence I thought was probably one of their best of the night or of the day. They almost had a sack, fumble, got the sack, then the interception, then you guys go and score. Just talk about the defense and how they were able to rise up and create that sequence. And do you feel like that's something that can become more of a thing? It seems like they're trending upward.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we go against our defense every day, and it's definitely the huge challenge for us going against our defense every day. And I think the thing that makes them how good they really are is the relentless pursuit to the football. They got 11 guys running to the ball every play, no matter if it's from the backside, everybody's running to the ball and trying to either strip it out or make a play on the ball in the air. And I think that really showed this past Saturday with all the turnovers and havoc they caused on that side of the ball. And they're definitely going to keep trending upwards, just because that's who they are as a defense. And I'm very excited that we get to go against them in practice each week, just because that makes us as an offense a lot better, because we're going against such a game wrecking defense that really on all three levels of our defense, we got guys in the back end that can make plays on the ball. Then obviously everybody knows about our front seven. They can really get out after the pass, the quarterback in the pass rush game, and they can also stop the run very well. So I'm very excited that we have them on our team for sure. And I just look forward to watching them play again this weekend.
Johnny McGonigal.
Yeah, Drew, last year in the whiteout, you got in for a couple of drives. What do you remember about that experience, and how excited are you to now make your first whiteout start?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like the whiteout for sure in all of sports. And obviously it was very memorable to even get in a type of game like that last year. But I mean, really our main goal, I mean, obviously we're all going to take it in as a team, but we're not going to let that distract us from what we're supposed to do. We have to go out on the field and handle the business first. So we're going to soak it in pregame, and then, go out and play a very tough Iowa team. They're a very tough team up front on defense and in the secondary. So it's going to be a huge challenge. We can't let the whiteout distract us, but definitely take it all in when we first step out there for pregame warmups.
Daniel Gallen.
Hey Drew, we saw Caden Saunders get some run in the fourth quarter, and it seems like as the season is going on, whether it's on the punt returns or on offense, there's a little bit more confidence. He's showing a little bit more what he can do. What have you seen from Caden so far this year, and how do you see him moving forward as a part of this offense?
Yeah, I think I see him playing very, very confident in himself, especially on all the punt returns this year so far. He's running up, making very tough catches. I mean, I don't think people understand how hard it is for punt returners to make those sorts of catches and that kind of traffic. And for him being as young as he is and doing it as well as he is right now, just shows how much confidence he has in himself. And I think that's transferring over to the offensive side of the ball, where he's playing fast and loose and very confident in himself and his abilities. And I think we'll continue to see him getting out on the field whatever way he can, because he just wants to be out in the field for us, and he'll do it in any sort of facet, special teams or offense. So I'm very excited for him, and he's definitely just playing at a high level right now.
Donnie Collins.
Drew, how would you assess the offense's performance this year in the middle 8 minutes there? And what is your kind of mental approach to that time frame in the game that's so important?
Yeah. I last week, I don't know, we went down and scored the field goal right before the half, and I think our second drive or third drive of the game, or the second half, we had another field goal or something like that. So, it's been pretty good so far. I think we take pride in it as a whole team, offense, defense, and special teams, because middle eight's really where you can swing momentum of games. In either way, it's really the only opportunity you get to have back-to-back possessions if you like can't just do what you're supposed to do. So it's very important to the success of our team, and I think we have the right mindset when it comes to that. And it's very important to not only start fast in the beginning of the game, but start fast in the second half and not get off to a slow start.
Hannah Mears.
Yeah, Drew, you just mentioned again starting fast. How confident do you feel this week that your offense can execute 4 solid quarters of offense against an Iowa defense that's been really solid so far this season for them as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Iowa's a very good defense. They have been since I mean, I don't know how long they've been good. They've been good for a really long time, for as long as I can really remember. But yeah, I think we're going to have to take pride in it this week because obviously with the new rule changes, there's less and less plays each game. So it's going to be a huge part of our game plan. But we got to dive into the week first and just hammer out everything we can in order to be as confident as we can going into the game. So we're not second guessing ourselves out there. And it's going to be a huge challenge with this Iowa defense. Very disciplined group, and that plays very, very tough and physical. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us on Saturday.
Mark Wogenrich.
Hey, Drew, I know you have a team metric about what constitutes an explosive play. How do you define one, though? What is an explosive play to you?
I mean, I would just go as it is with the team. It depends on the situation. But I think with explosive plays, we have to stay on track. We can't be getting behind the sticks like a couple times we did this past weekend, because that really limits our variety of offense we can call. And it kind of puts us in a predicament where the defense can kind of, just kind of call it spades of spades and like pin their ears back and rush the passer, because most of the time you're going to have to, pass the ball on second and long and third and long just because of the situation you're in. So I think the biggest part of explosive plays is being efficient as possible. And, just taking what the defense gives you at the end of the day, because we can talk about the downfield throws or whatever, but most explosive plays come from the underneath stuff, getting guys like Keandre and Nick and Fat out in space one-on-one, where they don't, like in the run game where Nick and Fat don't get that many one-on-ones in open space. In the pass game, they really can, just because of the coverages and the defense sinking. So I think it really just comes with taking what the defense gives you at first, and then obviously as the games moves along, you can get those shots downfield where it's more explosive. But I mean, as a mindset, we just want to be as efficient as possible as an offense.
All right, folks, we got time for 3 more questions. We'll go Tyler Donahue, Rich Scarcella, and Johnny McGonigal. Go ahead, Tyler.
Drew, what did Trey Potts bring to this offensive backfield when he came to campus in May? And what do you think about his utilization moving forward for this team?
Yeah, Trey's a great teammate. I think he complements both Nick and Fat Man really well, and obviously we're very glad he's a part of our team. We need depth in all positions, and he brings that to the running back room. And so ever since he stepped on May, he's been a very hard worker. He's been handling his business on and off the field, and it's just good to see him get out there. You can tell he's getting more and more comfortable in our offense, in our system. So I'm very excited for what he has in the future.
Rich Scarcella.
Drew, you mentioned the Iowa defense and how good they are, and they've been good for a very long time. What do they do particularly well?
I think they're just disciplined. They line up and they're going to execute their game plan. They're going to be in the spots they need to be in. They're just very disciplined, and then they play very tough. Similar to our defense, they got guys running to the ball in all situations, no matter if they're on the backside or rallying to make the tackle. They play with tremendous effort and grit up front. And I think that's what makes them who they are. They're a very disciplined group that's just going to be in the spots they need to be in at the end of the day.
We'll wrap up with Johnny McGonigal.
Yeah, Drew, earlier this morning we talked to Theo and he was talking about how he's staying patient and he knows that the receptions and that kind of thing, that those stuff will come with time. As a quarterback, how do you reassure a player like that one, you're doing the right thing? And I guess what have you seen from Theo through 3 weeks, from a pass catching standpoint and otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, what I've seen from that whole tight end room in general has been nothing but great things. They're doing a tremendous job in our run blocking schemes. Handling defensive linemen, which not many tight ends around the country can do, and then getting up to the second level players on double teams with our O-line. So I think they're doing a great job in the run game. And as far as the pass game goes, obviously, they're two very great tight ends in the pass game, and obviously we want to get them involved as much as we can. But I think they're doing a great job of just being team players right now, just because there's only one ball to go around at the end of the day, and we have so many weapons at running back, receiver, and tight end that it's hard to spread it around all the time. But we do our best job we can, and I think Theo had a great game this past Saturday. He made a couple huge catches for us. And he made very tough contested catches for us. So I think he's done a great job right now, and he's one of our vocal leaders on the offensive side of the ball. So nothing really sways him, and I think he's doing an outstanding job right now.
Awesome. Thanks, Drew.
Thank you, Drew.